Khan Shalom Akim. Want to give all praise, honor, and glory to Yahawah, Bahasham, Yahawashi, Bahasham, Rawchaa, Qadash. Double honors to the other apostles of great Millstone who teach real well, and Shalom to the sincere Akim, spreading truth and sincerity. Shalom. In this video, I want to touch on a couple of things that are happening, upon this earth concerning food products or things that can be used as food products, which is going into the famine that is prophesied to happen upon this earth. So, so as I was preparing myself for this video, a different kind of precept, popped in my mind, than that I already had on deck, because I don't want to make this video too long. Let me see. Yeah, so this is Ezekiel chapter 33, and verse 1. Again, the word of the Lord Yahawah came unto me, saying, Son of man, speak to the children of thy people, and say unto them, When I bring the sword upon a land, if the people of the land take the man of their coasts, and set him for their watchman, if when he see the sword come upon the land, he blow the trumpet and warn the people. And this is symbolically referring to the prophets that are set up by the Heavenly Father to warn the people from the danger that is to come. In this instance, it's talking about a sword, which that represents war or the conquest, being undertaken by their enemies or by the enemies. But this is something that we, ought to be doing concerning the prophecies, man. As it says in Second Esdras, the 9th chapter, it says, Second Esdras chapter 9 and verse 1, he answered me then and said, Measure thou the time diligently in itself, and when thou seest part of the signs past, which I have told thee before, then shalt thou understand that it is the very same time wherein the highest will begin to visit the world which he made. So what this is talking about is that we, look upon, this earth and see what's going on. We filter it through the scriptures, man. And one way that we're doing that is by watching the news, and through the events that are taking place upon this earth, we understand the times that we're in, man. We understand that the Most High, is bringing to pass these prophecies that are, foretold to happen. That's why it also says in Second Esdras chapter 15 and verse 1, Behold, speak thou in the ears of my people the words of prophecy, which I will put in thy mouth, said the Lord Yahawah. This is going hand in hand with warning our people, warning them from the things that are coming upon the earth, that were foretold to happen, which that's a prophecy. A prophecy is something that was, said before, but it still needs to happen. You have the word pro and the word phasai. Pro means before, and phasai means to say. So saying before it happens. So right now we're seeing that certain events are taking place upon this earth, and we're warning our people, man, as it says in Ezekiel chapter 33, concerning what the watchman, is supposed to do when he sees danger coming. This is verse 4. Then whosoever heareth the sound of the trumpet and taketh not warning, if the sword come and take him away, his blood shall be upon his own head. So, if the servants, the prophets, are forewarning the people of the things to come, but people don't take heed concerning what is being told, when that which was spoken about, is coming to pass, those people are gonna have to suffer the fact, that they didn't listen and didn't prepare themselves. Verse 5, he heard the sound of the trumpet and took not warning. His blood should be upon him, but he that taketh warning shall deliver his soul. See, so if you take heed to what is being spoken by the prophets, man, you basically save your own life, man. But if you don't, that's basically gonna be your be unto your destruction. This is verse 6. But if the watchmen see the sword come, and this is going into, like a motivation why, we are also bringing out the words for the Heavenly Father. Verse 6. But if the watchmen see the sword come and blow not the trumpet, and the people be not warned, if the sword come and take any person from among them, he is taken away in his iniquity, but his blood will I require at the watchman's hand. So if the servants, the prophets, know about the things that were foretold to happen, they see it playing out upon this earth, but they don't speak about it, they don't warn the people, then those people that were supposed to hear these words die. What is going to be, the, 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 the mistake or the fault of the prophet, man? You know, it's his mistake, his fault for not telling these people. So it's going to be required at his hands, you know. So this is verse 7. So thou, O son of man, I have set thee a watchman unto the house of Israel. Therefore thou shalt hear the word of my mouth and warn them from me. See, so the Most High, he set up prophets, starting off with the other apostles of Great Millstone on down. You see, they are set up to warn, the people that belong to the nation of Israel. So going back to Second Esdras chapter 15 and verse 5, it says, "Behold, said the Lord Yahawah, I will so like behold, said the Lord Yahawah, I will bring plagues upon the world, the sword, famine, death, and destruction." So what the Most High is going to bring upon His earth, are wars and conflicts. He's going to bring a time concerning lack of breath. A lot of people going to die, and eventually, a great destruction is going to take place by way of thermonuclear missiles and by the chariots of Yahawah Bahasham Yahawashi. You see? But in this video, I want to touch on the famine. This is from a Dutch news outlet concerning a crisis concerning eggs, which I translated it. But it says, egg crisis. Supermarkets offer British poultry farmers millions in aid. Supermarket chains Aldi and Tesco are offering extra financial help for British poultry farmers to get enough eggs in their stores. The UK is facing shortages of eggs in stores. So if you have a shortage of something, that means that there's a lack, in the amount of availability, which eggs are a product that are being used for food. So this is being linked with famine. With another 26.4 million pounds, the groups hope to put an end to that problem. Earlier this month, some supermarkets in the country restricted the maximum numbers of eggs customers could buy. They blamed the shortages on bird flu, which, just like in the Netherlands, has led to the killing of chickens to prevent further spread. In addition, there will be hoarding due to panic about egg shortages. You see, so what's going on, is a lot of chickens are being killed, which the effect that that has upon the earth is that, yeah, there's going to be a shortage of chickens being able to produce eggs, but also those chickens, because you have egg laying hens, and you have chickens that are basically meat chickens, they are also being cold, which means there's going to be a shortage in both the meat and the eggs, which those are staples in people's household. But egg farmers point out that they are not paid enough for their eggs to cover the sharply increased costs for animal feed and energy. Several entrepreneurs in the industry have stopped as a result. You see, so we also have an energy crisis that is taking place right now due to what's going on between Russia and Ukraine. Concerning the gas, the oil. Even there are things going on with electricity that I don't know the specifics about. But also, the animal feed that is created, contains grains, contains corn and things like that, which that's also, being affected due to what's going on in Russia. You know, so the things going on right now upon the earth, they all coincide, and are leading up to the great famine that is foretold to happen in the scriptures. So we're already seeing that certain chess pieces are being placed in certain positions that, like a great domino effect, are able to, set up other things, are able to influence these other, I say that, these other, I want to say branch, but other assets or other, like other, like these things are not necessarily directly related to each other, but indirectly they do affect each other. You know, because the grains that are created, in Ukraine, for instance, because that supply that used to be there, that was being able to ship outside of the country, is not there no more. You know, so that affects the the amount of money that these farmers have to pay for the food for the animals. You know, and at the same time, they have to call their chickens as well. You know, which means that they're being financially hindered, and that also results in them having to stop, with their basically with their business. So you have multiple things that are being affected, but on a larger scale, it all leads down towards this famine. It says Dutch support. Tesco pledged a further 13.9 million pound to poultry farmers through March, bringing the group a total of 27.7 million pound to avert a crisis. Money is intended, among other things, to offset the increased feed costs. Aldi pledged 12.5 million for the same period, bringing the total to 38 million. In March, Dutch poultry farmers also demanded more money for their eggs because the war in Ukraine has saddled them with much higher feed and energy costs. And think about it, if these farmers, you know, have to pay more money in order to provide the people with eggs, those costs are going to eventually lay on the plate of the customers. I think right now, like eggs is like 5 6 euro for 30 eggs or something, man. Which back in the days I used to remember that you could buy like 30 eggs for 253 euro. You know, it says because the war in Ukraine had settled them with much higher feed and energy costs. Albert Heijn then said it would increase purchase prices. You see, Dutch eggs were almost a fifth more expensive in October than a year earlier, according to provisional figures from the Central Bureau of Statistics. So what we're experiencing right now is a uh, some sort of inflation, man. The price of food is going up. Eventually, we're able to purchase less. The purchasing power becomes less because with the salary that we have, every month, we're able to buy less and less because of the increased cost and prices, man. Which that's crazy, man. That's crazy. So that's also leading down to famine because you're not able to acquire those foods, man. But if things are getting so much out of hand, people, people are gonna take measures into their own hands, man. And the scriptures already spoke about that. This is Second Esdras chapter 15 and verse 19. It says, "A man shall have no pity upon his neighbor, but shall destroy their houses with the sword and spoil their goods, because of the lack of bread and for great tribulation, man." So great troubles are gonna come upon this earth, and people are gonna steal from each other, breaking into each other's houses. People that used to be good with one another, they're gonna become enemies, man. And why? Just for the sole purpose of survival. That's the reason that they're gonna become enemies, and those that you used to be good with, you're gonna steal from them, man, because you wanna survive and you wanna provide for your family. You see, and a righteous man would do it in a righteous way, but unrighteous people, they would kill other people to acquire their food. You know, you know what I mean? So that's what's gonna happen, man. So in this day and age, what I mean by that with righteous and unrighteous man is a righteous man will make sure that he makes more money in order to compensate, for the increased prices. But an unrighteous man, he would steal, man. He would steal and kill people for that. You see? Take that which belongs not unto him. You see? So another thing that I want to talk about are potatoes, because Holland, the northern part of Holland, which you have certain provinces in Holland, and the northern part, like North Holland, is not necessarily North Holland, but it's like on the western side of Holland, but a little bit more on the north side. But higher than that would still be Friesland. But there's a potato disease that is said to be found, which that's gonna affect the potato supply in Holland as well. Which the potatoes that you know, hey, potatoes are a big staple in the Dutch diet, man. Like even in you say that even in the people of Suriname and Dutch Indies, they refer to basically to Dutch people as potato heads, man. You know, so it says potato blight in the northern Netherlands, 20-year cultivation ban on their number of fields. So what does this mean? This means that farmers that have discovered this disease upon their potatoes, they are not allowed to cultivate potatoes there for 20 years because they want to get rid of that disease. It says in Groningen and Drenthe, the contagious war disease was found in 8 potato fields this year. This is reported by the Dutch Food and Consumer Product Safety Authority. Because of the plant disease, the field may not be used to grow potatoes for 20 years. 7 of the 8 affected fields are in Groningen, municipalities of Westerwolde, Stadskanaal, Midden-Groningen, and Pekela. RTV Noord reports the 8 fields is located in Drenthe in the municipality of Emmen. According to the NVWA, the number of infected fields is high this year. 4 cases were found in 2021 and 3 in 2020, all in Groningen and Drenthe as well. So that means that is like 4, 3, 7 plus this one is let me see how many is found here. 8. So that's 15 fields that used to grow potatoes, you know, are not allowed to cultivate potatoes to at least 2040. That's a long time, man. It says long cultivation ban needed. The war disease is caused by the fungus Syncritrium endobioticum. It is a soil-borne disease that can survive in the soil for 30 to 40 years. When a potato becomes infected with the fungus, cauliflower-like growth appears on the potato that resemble warts. The NVWA carries out annual checks to find out whether the wart disease occurs in potato crops. Once a field is infected, it can take a very long time for the disease to disappear. A long cultivation ban is then necessary to prevent further spread. So this means that slowly but surely, you know, more and more potatoes, are not cultivated. Meanwhile, potatoes, like I mentioned already, are a huge staple in the Dutch like in the Dutch household. You know, adding on to the ag crisis, you can see where this video is going, right? You know, so another thing that I want to talk about is the avian flu outbreak. Um, and this article is going into how the avian flu outbreak has wiped out over 50 million birds across the U.S. It says avian flu has wiped out 50.54 million birds in the United States this year, making it the country's deadliest outbreak in history. U.S. Department of Agriculture data showed on Thursday that the deaths of chicken, turkeys, and other birds represent the worst U.S. animal health disaster to date, topping the previous record of 50.5 million birds that died in an avian flu outbreak in 2015. Birds often die after becoming infected. Entire flocks, which can top a million birds at egg-laying chicken farms, are also killed to control the spread of the disease after the bird tests positive. Losses of poultry flocks and prices for eggs and turkey meet their record highs, worsening economic pain for consumers facing red-hot inflation and making Thursday's Thanksgiving celebration more expensive in the United States. Europe and Britain are also suffering their worst avian flu crisis, and some British supermarkets rationed customers' egg purchases after the outbreak disrupted supplies, which just goes hand in hand, with the egg crisis of the first article. It says the U.S. outbreak, which began in February, infected flocks of poultry and non-poultry birds across 46 states. USDA data show wild birds like ducks transmit the virus, known as highly pathogenic avian influenza, through their feces, feathers, or direct contact with poultry. Wild birds continue to spread HPAI through the country as they migrate, so preventing contact between domestic flocks and wild birds is critical to protecting U.S. poultry, said Rosemary Sifford, the USDA's chief veterinary officer. Farmers struggled to keep the disease and wild birds out of their barns after increasing security and cleaning measures following the 2015 outbreak. In 2015, about 30% of the cases were traced directly to wild bird origins, compared to 85% this year, the USDA told Reuters. So yeah, man, these are the times that we're heading into, man. It's not called the beginning of sorrows for nothing, man. We see how things are unfolding upon this earth. We understand what is coming. We need to keep the faith, Yahawah. Yahawah, the Most High keeps that faith upon us, that we're able to endure, and make it to the end. So with that, I hope and pray that this video was edifying. And with that, I want to give all praise, honor, and glory to Yahawah, Bahasham, Yahawashi, Bahasham, Rawchaa, Qadash. Double honors to the elder apostles of great Millstone who teach you real well, and shalom to the sincere Akim, spreading his truth and sincerity. Shalom.